Today's video is sponsored by Simply Safe. So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. We're down here at the wood yard this afternoon, and we're going to split some firewood and hopefully answer some reoccurring questions. It's a beautiful day today. I'm sitting in the shade right now, but it's nice and sunny today. This morning it was about 19 degrees. It's right around freezing, but I'm starting to think we're not going to have a winter. I don't know what's going to happen. We've hardly had any snow. I think we've only had about 8 or 9 inches total so far this year, and it melts off as fast as it comes, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. We're already to the middle of January, so pretty soon here I think I'm just going to be looking forward to spring. This is the stand for the split fire log splitter that goes on the excavator. Works out really well. It's kind of awkward if you don't have something to sit it on. So I'm going to take this down to the wood yard, and we're going to take that splitter off for a little bit so we can root through the log pile and get out some big ones. Before we do that, got to put a little fuel in the tractor. This is the first time I'm putting fuel in this tractor. It's got 11.8 hours on it right now. I still haven't gotten a big fuel tank, but I'm still looking for the right one. This time of year, you know, I don't go through a whole lot of fuel, but like spring, summer, and fall, I'll use a lot more, and it'd be good to have a big tank here. Plus, I think it's a good idea for everyone to stockpile some fuel. All right, got her fueled up, ready to go. By the way, old Blueford here, hiding behind these firewood baskets. It's going to get put back into service here pretty quick. We have a little project coming up for this, probably in the next week or two, depending on the weather. Might be a real chore getting her going, but once you get it running, there's no stopping it. Forgot, when you do that, the wedge has to be over here. If it's in the center somewhere, it'll hit down here before the beam sits down in the saddle. So when I'm down here at the wood yard and I'm cutting and splitting firewood and I make a video about it, I think one of two things happens. Either one, I'm not very good at explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, or two, some people skip through the video or don't hear what I'm saying. Actually, maybe there's three possibilities. Could be a combination of the both. But let me explain what my little system is here. Everybody does things a little bit differently. This is just what I have found works for me. This log splitter right here is a split fire 4209, and it works fantastic. Now, the last time I was running this, there are a few comments saying it would take forever to split bundle firewood with this log splitter. I agree. It's not made for that. What I use this for, and the only thing that I use this splitter for, is breaking big rounds down, like big red oak, big cherry, you know, 24 to 36 inches. You break them down to size to make them more manageable. That's the only thing that I use this splitter for, and it works fantastic for doing that. If you're only going to have one log splitter for your firewood operation, and I'm talking about guys that sell firewood, not big operations, but people that sell maybe 50 cords or less per year, then this splitter right here is not the one you want if you're only going to have one splitter. But if you get big tree service rounds or you get into big wood, this is a great secondary log splitter to have to make things more manageable. No doubt about it. Works great for that. Earlier, I mentioned that today's video was sponsored by Simply Safe, and I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Home security is very important to me. That's actually kind of an understatement. It's extremely important to me, if that makes sense. We take it very, very seriously, and our Simply Safe system is a key component to our security plan. Simply Safe has you covered no matter what you need for home security. They've got the entry sensors, the window sensors, outdoor wireless security cameras, plus a whole bunch more. They also have 24/7 home monitoring protection. 24/7 professional monitoring is now powered by Fast Protect technology exclusively from Simply Safe. When a threat is detected, Simply Safe's monitoring professionals promptly contact you and dispatch first responders to your home, even if you're away or unable to respond. So you get all that for less than $1 a day, which is less than half of what traditional home security brands charge. Plus, there's no long-term contracts or hidden fees, and you can start or stop at any time. Something else that was very important to me that I was thrilled with was installation was a breeze. I had our entire system up and running in a single evening, and it has been glitch-free now for going on, I think, about 3 years now. The other nice thing about installing it yourself is you don't have a stranger coming into your home installing your security system. Like I said, home security is very important to me, and Simply Safe has great products and service. If they didn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you about it today. Save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplysafe.com/Morgans to customize yours. Now the Wolfe Ridge, this is the Pro 28C. If you're only going to have one log splitter set up for your firewood operation, this would be a great choice right here. This thing will crank out the firewood. You're going to be seeing this running here again pretty soon, sometime in the next couple weeks. I've got to clean out the firewood bunker, and we're going to do things a little bit differently this year. We're going to get some help up here. Levi, my nephew Christian, Melissa, and we'll fill that firewood bunker in no time. But this is a production machine right here. If you're only going to have one log splitter, and you know, you do 50 cords a year or even more, this would be a great choice. And it has the log lift on it as well, you know, for those big rounds. I just like using the one on the excavator to break them down a little bit so you're not having to wrestle with them a bunch. Oh, and if you're wondering what that is over there, that is our Charlie Brown Christmas tree. We took that down, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, but I got that from the property in West Virginia. Nice little tree. Now the split force log splitter, this is a different animal altogether. As far as production goes, and this is just my opinion, but if you have 1 or 2 people splitting firewood, the Wolfe Ridge and the conveyor will make more firewood than the split force. That's my opinion. This is pretty quick though. It's got a 4-second cycle time, but the Wolfe Ridge, it's got a quick cycle time as well, but it has a 4-way or 6-way wedge. This just has a single wedge. But the advantage that this has over the Wolfe Ridge is you can size your firewood much easier with this. So this would be a great machine for like a production guy, 50 cords or less, that sells a lot of bundle firewood as well. And it's super handy being self-propelled, being able to move this wherever you want very easily. The Wolfe Ridge, it doesn't take that long, but still, you've got to hook the splitter up to a side-by-side or something, then the conveyor. Takes some time setting it up. For me, I'm glad to have it in place and leave it there and dump all in one pile with the big conveyor. This is pretty nice to be able to move all over the place very easily and very quickly. So I hope that all makes sense. This is a production machine as well, a little bit more specialized, like for bundle firewood, sizing your wood. The Wolfe Ridge, just for cranking out firewood. And the split fire on the excavator, all I use that for is breaking down big rounds into a manageable size. So I was going to use the excavator to sort through the pile some and pull out the real big ones, cut them up, and then break them down to size with that log splitter. But I've got all these smaller ones here in front, so instead of moving things twice, I think we'll cut some of these up, and then I'll bring the split force splitter right down to them and split them into the dump trailer. When I split firewood into the dump trailer, I don't dump it in the firewood bunker. We fill the IBC totes out of the dump trailer. Makes it really easy because everything's right at waist height. And as you pull wood out, every once in a while you just raise the bed up, more comes back to the back, and it's a lot less bending over. All right, I'm getting a good start here. You know, people always ask me how I measure my firewood and cut it all the same length. I've gone over it before, but in case you missed, that's the secret right there. Tape measure and sidewalk chalk. I've used Mingo markers. They work good as well, especially if you have long, straight poles. But for me, you know, like I always say, everyone does things different. I like just a tape measure and sidewalk chalk because I'm pretty particular about it. I like to keep everything the same length. Some of my customers got to be 16 inches. I mean, if it's 17 and a half, 18, they can't fit it in their stove. So we cut everything at 16. That's it. But right now I need to head up to the house. We have some family coming over for dinner. But what I want to do is show you some footage from past videos of the split fire log splitter on the excavator, the split force log splitter, and the Wolfe Ridge. I hope I was able to explain why I do what I do. And like I keep saying, everybody does things differently, and that's fine, whatever works for you. I know one thing, as I get older, the equipment like the excavator, man, it's a back saver. That log splitter on the excavator, I hate to admit it, but I can't do what I used to be able to do. I was thinking of that earlier. I was talking to a guy that I used to work with back in the blasting days, and we had these 5-inch by, I think they were 3 feet long tubes, and they were filled with blasting agents for wet holes, and they weighed 30 pounds each. And we were talking about it. We used to go up to the back of the truck. You'd have one guy in the truck, would slide those tubes to the back of the truck, and they had tails on the end of them. You get like 3 of them in one hand, you'd slide them on one shoulder, and 3 in the other hand, slide them on that shoulder, and you'd just take off through the mud. And I got to thinking, that's 180 pounds. I couldn't do it today. It'd kill me. It would. So this equipment really makes things easier, and I think I got a pretty good setup down here and system for doing it the way I do without killing myself, which is important. But anyway, here's some footage from all 3 splitters, and you can determine what would work best for you. But anyway, that's it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here. I also want to thank Simply Safe for sponsoring today's video. And don't forget, there's a link in the description if you want more information on that. And I think that's about it. Catch you on the next one.